3 weeks ago, I almost died from a massive heart attack. I'm 34 years old. I'm a father of two, an ultra runner, and I work out and eat healthy. I'm the last person that I thought that a heart attack would happen to, but it did. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened, the warning signs, what went on inside of my body, what the doctors told me. Because if I ignored my body for one more hour, I might not be here. I might have died. Before this happened, my life revolved around fitness. I'm an ultramarathon runner. I've run a 100-mile race 3 times. I've run multiple marathons, different races all over, Spartan ultras in Vermont, climbing mountains, not Everest. My life revolved generally around fitness and being a dad. In my mind, heart attacks happen to people that are older or extremely unhealthy. I never thought it would happen to me. But heart disease, it doesn't care about what you think. So the day that it happened was a normal day. It was a Sunday. And on Sundays, I do a workout at a park in Fort Lauderdale. And I have a group of people that I meet there. I walk to the park. We do a workout. My girl brings my kids. We come, we play, and then we go home. We usually get something to eat and we go home. So I started to walk to the park in Fort Lauderdale. It wasn't particularly hot out yet because it's early in the morning. It was about 8 o'clock, 8:30. And it wasn't extremely hot and I wasn't moving extremely fast, but I started to sweat. And I started to sweat like, I don't know if you've ever broken a bone. But when you break a bone, your body is kind of like, going through a trauma and you sweat from like the inside out. It's like, it's very hard to explain. But I started to sweat and I started to have this weird pressure on my chest. Now, this is just walking to the park. The pressure turns into a sort of pain. The pain started to radiate down my arm, my left arm. Now, mind you, this is while I'm walking to the park. I'm an ultra marathon runner. I run all types of distances. I'm walking and I'm sweating. All right, I stuffed this all in my brain. I started to think maybe I had heartburn from the night before, right? The pain that the heart attack that I had wasn't the kind where you suddenly collapse. So I was under the impression that it couldn't have been a heart attack because I was so ignorant to the topic. Anyway, when I got to the workout, we did the workout. My people showed up. We did the workout. The whole time I had this extreme pain in my chest. It felt like my chest was being ripped apart. And I was like, this is crazy heartburn. That's all I attributed to. I thought it was heartburn. So we did the workout. I didn't die, thank God. And the workout finished. And when the workout finished, my wife showed up with my kids and we played like normal. The pain went away enough that I could focus on doing something else, right? So me and my kids, we played, we got brunch, and then we went home. This entire time that all this is going on, even when the pain went away, I had this feeling in my head of like something is terribly wrong. And I couldn't explain what it was if you asked me to try. I had this feeling like something was wrong. I couldn't tell you, you know, what was going on with me, but something was wrong. Now, at this point, when we went home, I told my wife, and there's some videos that I posted earlier that went like super viral that we captured from the Ring camera. And it's a Ring camera footage of me talking to my wife and me telling her, I think that I'm dying. I need a nap today. I feel so underrested. I feel like I'm going to die. And her saying, are you dying? And me saying, I think I might be. And just, I knew something was wrong. I tried to voice it in a way, but I was also stuffing it because I didn't want to scare my wife and I didn't want to believe that it was real. So I told her that, and she was like, okay, you take the nap today. So she got the two kids to sleep. I went and I showered. So the first feelings I had was at like 8:30. Now this is like 12 o'clock or 12:30, somewhere in there. And I went and I showered and I said, okay, I'm going to go nap. Now, when I went to go nap, my son was sleeping. I go to lay down. When I lay down, right, it felt like an elephant laid down with me on my chest. It felt like as soon as I hit the bed, something just laid on top of me. And I had this pressure on my chest, like I was being squeezed by a UFC fighter. I was just being the life choked out of me from my chest. And that was coupled with the pain from earlier. It came back. The pain in my chest was back. The pain radiated into my arm. I felt like I had fire ants eating my left arm all the way to my fingertips, like I could shoot flame if I tried to out of my arm. It was down my lat. It felt like my left side of my body was going to detach and rip off. And I still had the impending doom. And now I was sweating and it was hard for me to breathe. And I rolled around in the bed trying to fall asleep. Thank God that I didn't. And I couldn't fall asleep. And I ended up going into the living room. I told my girl, I said, I can't sleep. She's like, now taking a nap is a big deal when you have kids. So she says, what do you mean you can't sleep? I said, I can't sleep. I feel like if I go to sleep, I'm going to die. She said, what's the matter with you? I said, my chest hurts and I'm having signs of a heart attack, but there's no way I'm having a heart attack because I was in denial. And I need to tell you that if you feel chest pain, if you're 34, if you're 24, if you're 14, if you feel chest pain, if you feel heart pain, if you feel your arm, your left arm, if you feel impending doom, if you're sweating, if you feel these things and it doesn't matter your age, you need help. I needed help and I was in denial. And I didn't want to panic my wife, so I didn't tell her that the pain inside of me was the worst pain I ever had. I stuffed it, and I have a very high pain tolerance from running ultra endurance events. And I use that tool when I need to, and I thought I needed to. And turns out I needed to just be fully transparent and save my own life so that I could stay with my kids. And I got there eventually. But at this moment, I told her, I said, no, maybe it's just heartburn. And she started looking things up. And she's like, no, it says we need to go to the hospital right now. We need to call an ambulance. I said, I'm not going in an ambulance. And this is another thing. You need to go in an ambulance. If you feel this pain, call 911. Don't worry about the bill like I was. Don't worry about, I'd never been in an ambulance before. I didn't want to do it. I just did not want to go in an ambulance. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like, I got to go to the hospital. Let's just go. We'll go. You take me. Let's go. We got the kids in 2 minutes after we decided. She got the bottles for the. We were gone. She got really worried and started panicking when she saw me putting on my shoes because she knew then that that meant that I was telling the truth, that something was really wrong, and it was bad enough for me to want to go to the hospital because I don't like hospitals. When we got to the hospital, everything got real. She dropped me off. She went to park, and I said to the lady, I think I'm having a heart attack. And the lady looked at me like I was crazy because I look, I don't look, like your standard heart attack victim. It is what it is. That's what I thought too. Like, am I crazy? So she looked at me and she's like, okay, baby, I'll be right with you. And I was like, okay. So I'm standing there. I got my hand on my chest. I'm like trying to hold whatever is going on. I'm like just holding my chest like this. It hurts so bad. And then my wife comes in with the kids. She, did you tell them? Did you tell them? Did you do? And the lady sees her face of pandemonium. And she's like, come over here, baby. And they walked me into this area, and immediately, it seemed like immediately, she asked me like two questions, and then I was in a room. And when I was in a room, they came and they put the EKG on me, right? They did the EKG, and the doctor took the EKG, looked at it, and he said, you're having a heart attack, young man, and it's very bad, and you need help immediately. You need an emergency procedure right now, or you're going to die. And I still kept calm. I was calm. My wife was panicking. As soon as they put the EKG on me, everyone in the room started panicking. Some guys telling me I need to shave my groin. I need to shave my chest. I'm buzzing my chest. I'm doing all this. They gave me nitroglycerin and aspirin. I'm doing all these things, and then the paramedics show up. So because I was at an emergency freestanding room, I wasn't necessarily at the spot that I needed to be. So they needed to take me in an ambulance from there. And they did. And they got me there in like less than 5 minutes. So I went in the ambulance. They brought me to another hospital. I don't know if they're cracking my chest. I don't know. I mean, they told me that they were going to probably go through my artery, through my arm or my femoral artery in my thigh to put in stents. I don't know what any of this means. I'm just there, and I'm really grateful to be alive, and I'm really hopeful that I'm going to stay alive. And I'm telling myself in my head, there's no chance I'm going to die because I got to get home to those kids. I love my kids, and I'm saying I cannot die. I will not die, and I'm making jokes. I'm trying to stay positive, and it was a fight for my life, and I was fighting. I was the number one fighter in this fight, as far as like wanting to survive. So they got me there. They pushed me in, and I'm signing a consent form now. I'm really worried that they're gonna crack my chest, and they tell me, no, 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 we're not gonna crack your chest. We're gonna go in through your arm, through the artery in your arm, and let's see if I could get you to see that. So you could barely see it now. But that little dot right there, that little dot there, they went in through there and they put two stents into my heart. So, all right. So what they found when they went in, they found that my LAD, or the Widowmaker artery, was 95% blocked. I had another one that was 80% blocked, and I have coronary artery disease. So there's some arteries that are 30, 40, different percentages of blockages. But my LAD was 95% blocked. They told me I was extremely lucky to be alive. I was extremely lucky that I didn't just fall out because this blockage was very bad. And they went in, they put the stents in. And when they put the stents in, it hurt like the heart attack all over again. That was terribly painful. And then after that, I felt uncomfortable because when your heart is lacking blood in a certain area for a long time, and then they fix your heart and that area starts to get blood, that in itself is painful because it was so used to the no blood for a while. And even though it's like a good thing, it needs to get used to that. And so my EKG was showing abnormal after the procedure, which was terrifying, but they were reassuring me it was probably because of that. And it was. And so I stayed in the hospital for like 3 days. And everybody in the hospital was extremely nice. The nurses were extremely nice. The doctor gave me his personal phone number, which I intend to use. Maybe I could get him on a video one day. That would be kind of cool. The cardiologist. This is what happened to me, and we don't know exactly what's going on yet inside of me. So we believe that it might be high lipid little a, which means essentially that the LDL in my body is more sticky and sticks to the artery walls more than other people's. I believe that's what that means. But I'm learning all of this about heart disease in real time while making these videos, for you guys, and trying to document my journey from heart attack to from ultra runner fitness. If you go back, I have stuff on that, like a lot of stuff. Ultra runner fitness, dad, to now heart attack survivor and heart attack advocate, heart awareness advocate, trying to help people to figure out what's going on with them so that they could get help. Yeah, this channel, it used to be just about fitness and fatherhood. That's it. Now it's huge. Not huge in the sense of the subscribers, huge in the scope of the vision of what I want to create for you. And that's heart awareness, survival, making sure that other people don't go through or don't have to go through what I went through and can probably get help, before that, because there were a lot of warning signs. I'm going to put out more videos explaining those other warning signs. But if sharing my story helps just one person, then it's all worth it, you know? So subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment you would like to see, what you would like to see me pursue in this department of heart awareness, heart disease, because here's the facts. A person dies every 33 seconds in America from heart disease. So it kills more people a year than cancer and car accidents combined. A lot of these people now going forward are younger and younger than they were before. I don't know if it's genetics. I don't know what the cause is, and I'm not here to speculate, but for me, this is a genetic issue. My mother has an issue with her heart, and it seems to have been passed down to me, and I have to be the one now to figure out what it is so I can figure out with my kids if they're okay going forward, the tests and stuff like that, that I hope to God that this dies with me. I hope to God. Um, you know, but if you're here and you've watched this entire video, thank you. Subscribe, follow along. This journey is just getting started, and I'm excited to share everything that I learned with you guys. And I'm excited to interview at some point doctors and cardiologists and different people on this topic. And this channel is going to grow. So I suggest that you ride along and follow the journey. Thanks, guys.